Welcome to The Author's Journey with #1 international best-selling author and in-demand publisher, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Today, we'll showcase the works of an amazing best-selling author, find out the story behind their book, and explore ways to bring your message powerfully forward. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you on The Author's Journey, where we talk to amazing, dynamic, best-selling authors that have leaned into bringing their message, their story forward, and they have launched it into the world in such a way that it's been received as a bestseller. So I'm very excited for the conversation we're going to have today. I know that you'll love our guest, and we're going to be focusing in on how to own your story, and in doing so, make a difference. So how do we fully claim our journey, our story, and share it in a way that makes a difference? Just take a moment and just kind of feel into that question and ponder. It's great for those of you who are writers out there to be thinking about, how does sharing this help the reader? How can I more fully claim my journey, my story, and include that, not just content and information, but actually the journey, your own story, and how can you share that even more powerfully? How can you bring more of that in? So I'm very honored to have you leaning into the conversation today. Let's take a breath as we focus in, connect in. This time is for you. And sometimes just taking that pause, that breath, helps us slow down, tune out the noise from everything else, all those things that pull at us, so that you can be present, fully present, and really receive what is here for you. So I'm going to encourage you to have a paper, pen ready, however you like to capture information, downloads, insights. Have that ready, because you're going to have time throughout the show with what's being shared, what's being imparted on you, maybe even what it's prompting or having it bubble up inside of you, something that you want to bring forward, something that's going to support you on your journey. I want you to capture that. So have that paper and pen ready so that you can capture that information and actually start to bring it forward. Sometimes it's a great insight. We think we're going to remember, but life gets busy and it's so easy to forget. So take that time to write it down. And what's really powerful about physically writing it is that there's a direct connection to writing your hand, your arm through to your heart. So it further integrates, connects, and it's bringing out to reality so you can see it, what you write, and interact with it. So I'm going to encourage you, paper and pen ready. Hope that you're leaning in, excited to meet our amazing guest, and let me introduce you to him. Charles Lovjoy is an international best-selling author. He reached international best-selling status in the U.S. and Canada, 14 best-selling categories, including #1 in the U.S. He's a professional actor, hip-hop artist, producer, writer, voice-over talent, and as a rap artist, he has shared the stage with notable hip-hop acts such as Scarface, Twista, D12, and Too Short, and many, many more. He has a degree in audio communication and studied music production at Full Sail University. Charles is passionate about helping you fight depression and win. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and passionate Charles Lovjoy to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. That was a great introduction.
Well, thank you, Charles. And I'm just honored and excited to have you joining us. I always love it when we're able to share you out in the world and your heart, your spirit, and all that you're looking to bring to the world and make a difference. It's beautiful and powerful and impactful. And I wanted to start with why all these different medias and talents that you have, you've pulled together to really lean in and share in multiple ways, from children's books to your own story to music to acting. You've brought forward so many different facets of you and skills to the world. Why is that work of helping people in that way so important to you?
Well, first of all, I'm a big family person, and I struggle with a lot of problems myself. And I've talked to people from all walks of life, and we all share similar struggles. So I just figured that I would use every platform available to try to help people in their situations, because I know some people feel like there is nobody to help them, or nobody understands what they're going through, because we all feel that way at one point in our lives. But that is the furthest from the truth.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, I just felt like I should take it upon myself to put that good energy into the universe.
Beautiful. I love that. And I love how you're consistent in what you're bringing forward. Like one of your songs, I always enjoy sharing it. Wake up on go. And we even were excited to weave that into some of the videos and things that were put together for your powerful launch when you released your book. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about why helping people with depression in particular, and sharing your journey in that in a written format. Why did that become important to you? Why did you lean in and say yes to bringing that forward?
Well, I started writing this book. It started off as just me venting on paper, and then it turned into a book accidentally. So I was just getting some of my thoughts, some of my struggles that I was going through, and I had a few friends. They were asking me how do you do it? It's a few close people that actually know all the trouble and drama that I was going through in my life, and they well, you still doing movies and TV shows and bringing out albums and stuff. How do you manage to always bounce back? So I have to answer the question. I leaned in as I guess you would say I used it as an outlet for my stress. And then the more I continued to write, it just became I talked to different people, and some of them were going through some of the same things, mother-father issues, certain issues with dealing with death, and just, depression as a whole. So it just became it was like a domino effect. So it's the more I vented my story, the more I was able to relate to other people and actually help them in their situations just by sharing my story and how I overcame depression.
Thank you for sharing that. I love that. So even as you're writing it, for processing yourself, it became a book, and then that sharing was creating important conversations and encouraging others, and then leaning in and launching it, and it was received as an international bestseller and is creating this positive, powerful ripple out into the world, which I just celebrate, and I think is so exciting. I'd love for you to share the title of your book and where people can get it.
Okay, the title is How to Fight Depression and Win, From Victim to Victorious. And it is available, of course, on all digital platforms. I believe it's a few physical stores, Barnes and Noble, of course, Amazon, things like that. Oh, and I also have the the audio book is now available as well.
Great. Oh, good. I'm excited. I know last time we talked that was in process, so I'm excited. Congratulations.
Yes, I finally got it out there.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's great. Wonderful. Well, we are getting ready to go to our first commercial break. And listeners, I want you to think about some of what Charles has shared. Are you bringing all your different talents forward? Are you listening to that prompting as maybe you're writing, processing things and sharing? Are you noticing how it's impacting people and how they're being touched and how they're being encouraged simply by that sharing? Those are the great things to include in your writing, to bring forward, to create that positive impact. And specifically those things that you struggle with, that you're navigating through, what a gift it is to share with others how you found a way to navigate through. That can help them on their journey. So enjoy these 2 minutes, this commercial break, this moment for you, and we will continue our conversation in just a moment.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that time for you to really think about your own story and how can you have it make a difference? How can you start sharing it in ways that will encourage and help others? And I love how, in the beginning, Charles was just kind of writing and processing. It wasn't necessarily that he sat down to write a book. And then as he continued, he listened to that pull, that prompting, it became a book, and he leaned in and brought it forward. And he was just sharing before our first break that he just recently has released the audiobook as well. So he's released it in multiple formats, which I also think is really smart as an author out there to think about the different formats and ways, because everybody learns differently, receives information differently. The more avenues, the more ways you're bringing that information forward, the more lives you can touch. So I'd love for you to touch on a little bit. You were just sharing behind the scenes with me a little bit about your audiobook. Do you mind sharing a little bit of why you're so excited about it?
Well, I'm very excited about the audiobook because I did all the production and the voiceovers and sound effects myself. So I tried my best to give the listeners and the readers the best experience possible while listening to it. So I after I recorded and produced everything and got everything sounding right, I just took a brief, about an hour, and I put the headphones on and I lit my sage incense, and I just wanted to feel like a listener and see what kind of experience. And I tried my best to make it cinematic, even though it's for the ear. So I'm very excited. I'm really anxious to see the feedback.
Beautiful.
Experience of listening to it.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you switched gears because so often we're the producer or the sharer or the writer. Sometimes I find this on shows where the host or we're the guest, and we don't stop and shift gears and put on that hat of receiving the information. How does it feel? How does it serve? What am I experiencing as a listener or as a viewer or as a receiver of this experience? And how powerful is that you shifted gear, did that, and then applied what you learned in that as you were experiencing and letting the book unfold. And that's just going to be a rich experience that will serve everybody. And a really important tip for those of you looking to bring your message and your story forward, to remember to shift gears and try to read it, try to listen to it, try to receive it as if you are the audience that it was made for. And just see with those new eyes, those new ears, is it lining up with that? Are there things that could be added or enhanced to really support those who will be listening, hearing, receiving the information that you're sharing, the book, the story? I love that. I love that you added all the sound effects and cinematic experience. So even though they're hearing, it creates some of the visual images as you're bringing in the different senses. So really, really powerful. And I'd also like you to talk about your cover a little bit, because it's very unique and it was very deliberate in how you designed your cover to tie in with your message and your story.
Yes. So I wanted to take the approach, like, from what's in my spirit. And I have the spirit of a fighter, a warrior. Not fighter like in a negative sense, but all these situations that we're faced with, like especially the negative ones, I feel like we have to fight through them, because, some of us have families depending on us. We can't afford to be in a depression or a funk for months at a time when we have other people depending on us. So the cover is me with the boxing gloves on, because it's called How to Fight Depression. So it's kind of like a metaphor, But so in the background of me standing there with the boxing gloves, I have like the beautiful waterfalls and things of that nature, just to show you, like, when you fight and win, it's beautiful on the other side. Like, as a matter of fact, the whole journey can be beautiful if you fight through it. I say the whole situation can be beautiful because, like, we go through certain things sometimes in order to teach the next generation how to deal with certain things. Your testimony could potentially save someone else's life. And it may be someone that you know and love, and it might be a total stranger that just happens to pick up on the message.
Thank you for sharing. Really beautiful. Just letting that kind of sink in, that it is worth the battle and worth fighting and taking that stand, and that your testimony can help another, save another, encourage another, that there is beauty and wonder. You even have a beautiful rainbow. So waterfall and rainbow, and just that reminder that it can be beautiful and it can be impactful, but there are times that we have to put the boxing gloves on and fight through. Right. And stand for ourselves and others, and that there is a beauty in that as well. Anything else you'd add?
That was pretty much it. I just wanted to make sure, like I said, I'm more into like the visual as well as like the audio part of it. But I like to paint the whole picture as vivid as possible.
Perfect. Thank you. And I would love for you to share. So you've recently brought your audiobook forward, and we're recording this in September. It's going to be released in October. So for everyone listening, it's October for you. For us, it's September. But we are connecting time and space as we put this together and are looking to bring this show forward. But I'd just love for you to share as you're reflecting back on bringing this book forward. I know you've had a lot of amazing things happen as well that you have been bringing forward as well. I know your album dropped, all kinds of things. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of that, because I feel like you've been able to start weaving these things together to create a message that is positive and powerful and encouraging for others to help them on their journeys. So do you mind sharing some of the things that have happened over the last year and things that they can be watching for and looking forward to seeing you in or experiencing?
Oh, yes. Well, they can look forward to, I have a TV show that I'm in called The Plant, and it's basically a comedy about plant workers, like industrial plant workers in Detroit, and it's called The Plant, and it's available on Tubi and Amazon Prime. We're filming. We have season 1 available right now for streaming, and we're currently working on season 2 and 3 right now.
Wonderful. Congratulations. I didn't know.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. And I have a few other things that are kind of not tied in to the depression thing, but I have like a few horror movies that I play a small part in. The Tales of the Detroit Pig Lady. It's just a host of things that I'm working on, but for the most part, I try to tie things in with the same theme as far as helping to uplift people instead of bringing them down, because it's enough of that in the world already. So when people support me, I want them to be able to get something out of it.
I like it.
No, I was just going to say with the music and everything, I think things, because it always wasn't lined up like this for me, because I used to be like all over the place. But I think when I chose a more righteous path, everything started lining up, with the music and certain shows that I do. And now I'm starting to write my own screenplays and things of that nature. So I'm just trying to do my job as a good human being and, help uplift people.
Beautiful. I love that. And I'm smiling because I'm thinking, what if we all just remembered that trying to do good in our lives and the talents we've been given and the choices that we're making, and that when we cross someone's path, that it makes it brighter and more positive, that there's something that supports them in that. And I love that you're doing that and lining up in that way, both your writing and your producing and all the different things that you're bringing forward. Congratulations on your show. I'm excited about that as well, and that we can go watch season 1. So that's powerful and wonderful. And it's great to have something that makes us laugh. There's such a power in that as well. So comedy is such a powerful media for that. And I'd love for you as well. Oh, go ahead.
That's cure. That's one of the best cures for depression is laughter.
Exactly. So you're walking the talk. I love it. So powerful in such beautiful ways, and with your music and your producing, your acting, all of it. And I'm curious on the writing side. So this book came out earlier in the year, has been received very, very powerfully, How to Fight Depression and Win. and go from victim to victorious just has such a powerful energy. I appreciate you sharing a little bit about the cover so people know some of the meaning. And listeners, I think that's such a great thing to think about. What picture are you painting with your cover? How does it align with what you're standing for, what the message is, what's contained in your book? How are those things coming together? And I'm curious, with what you are currently working on and bringing forward, looking back on the journey and launching your book and having it received as an international bestseller, do you have any advice or tips that you would like to share with our listeners today?
Well, before, I just thought about something as you were talking. I want to go back to the cover situation.
Sure.
So, you know how they always say, like, never judge a book by its cover and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, like, I'm the total opposite. Like, you can totally judge this book by its cover. I just like I hate those books. Like, they be really good books, but the cover is just like, it was no thought put into it. It's just plain, like, I just feel like I'm so passionate about the whole aspect of it. I just feel like more authors should really focus on those covers, because no matter how much people say don't judge the book by its cover, everybody judges the book by the cover.
It's true.
Like, some people, they scroll online, if something like what catches their eye, they tend to stop there and open it up and see what it's about. So I don't know who came up with that saying, but that saying is like totally false, because we all judge books by their cover. Just like with music, like back in the day when you had like Metallica and AC/DC and Jimi Hendrix, like those album covers made you want to hear the music.
Mm-hmm.
So I take that same approach with like the artwork for my books and for my music and everything.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for busting the myth and reminding us of the importance of the container, of the visuals that are being used to bring your book forward. Like, that's not the thing to skip energy on or to not care about, but really spend time and energy because it matters. I feel like that the cover is like a bridge. And it's connecting. It's letting people know what the book's about. It's getting their attention. It's showing them the way. And if you don't put thought into that, the wrong people might cross the bridge that aren't going to be served by it, or the people that will don't know the bridge is there. Like, it's important to have it connect and help your message be easy to find and have people be interested and intrigued and want to go deeper. Have it be something that pulls them in, that they want more of. So I love that. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. Enjoy these next 2 minutes. Think about some of what Charles has shared and see what's kind of bubbling up on you. What are some actions you want to take? What are some things that are going to help you on your journey and bring forward all the things you're called to bring forward? We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to go deep and really think about what are those things that will help you bring forward what matters most to you. How can you more fully own your story, share your story? And in doing so, it does matter. It does make a difference. And behind the scenes, Charles and I continued our conversation about covers. And I want to quote him. He says, the cover, I think sometimes, because I was telling him, I think sometimes people get tired and they're so focused on the content. And he really felt like, the content is really important, but the cover is too, the container. And people miss out sometimes because if your cover, and this is a quote, doesn't catch the eye, it doesn't make anyone want to see what's inside. So it's really important in designing the cover that you're catching the eye, that people are excited, they're intrigued, they're interested, that it stands out. There's over 2,000 books being released every single day. So what are some of the things you're doing to stand out, to have that content be seen? Because if it's not seen, if people aren't intrigued, it doesn't make the difference it could make. It doesn't have the impact. So with that, I know, Charles, you were starting to share with me a little bit about how there sometimes you feel people may be sensitive on the budget side of things or feel like they can't get that support. And you had some really great suggestions of ways they could navigate that. So I'd love for you to share.
Yes, see, I know it's a lot of people are writing books or have books finished right now, and what's stopping them? What's stopping them from even getting started is because they think, "Oh, I need $5,000." You can get things done in this digital age for really cheap prices. All you have to do is do the research. Google is our best friend these days. For those who don't know anything about artwork, you have websites like Fiverr.com that I've used so many times for like artwork, or even just like if you don't know how to format your book for ebook versions and things like this, it's certain services out here online that are really cheap. All you have to do is have the content, and you can get it done at a very decent, affordable price. You don't have to have a humongous budget to get your word out here.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
As well. I forgot about YouTube. So YouTube and Google has to become your best friend, because YouTube is actually how I learned how to format my words into book format.
Powerful. I love that. So tap into the resources that are available and don't feel like you have to do it on your own. You can lean into that support and you can find a way to bring it forward. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it, because I do believe there are a lot of people that's what's stopping them, and you just helped them navigate those waters and have some things they can do to bring them forward. So thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. I appreciate that, candid discussion, busting the myth. The cover does count. People do judge by the cover. Right. So be aware of
Rebecca,
that. Oh, of course.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say, because since I did my first book about 4 years ago, I did a book called Thug Life, The Lust for Destruction. And ever since I did that book, like people from Facebook all the time, they tell me these things. Like, they tell me like, "Oh, I've always wanted to write a book, but I don't know how to get started, or I don't know how to do the publishing or get it in print." So that's why I wanted to touch on that again. Like, my advice for writers, or if you just have an idea for a book and you don't know how to get started, again, I just want to say YouTube and Google are your best friend. We live in the digital age. There is nothing you can't learn how to do online.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It's so important. And really leaning into that. Don't let that be the reason that you don't bring your message forward. If you felt the pull, that prompt to write it, to bring it forward, to put it down in a format that someday can help people. It's needed now. You were prompted to write it for a reason, not for someday maybe I'll bring it forward. It's now. So let Google be your friend. Let YouTube be your friend. Let them support you in bringing it forward. And I have some resources too I'd love to share with you. Anyone out there that just wants to learn a little bit more about publishing, the steps, myths and truths, since we're busting myths today, and some of those things that we're asked most frequently about launching a book, or why do that, or visibility, how do you keep it going, how do you bring it forward, all those things. We've created a series called the Emerging Author Series, and it's Emerging Author Series, it's plural.com, and you just log in to that, to put your name and email address, and you can choose any of the modules that you want as our gift. So there's 9 of them. They're all digital downloads that in a chapter format can give you insight and great information to support you on your journey. So please feel all the support here from Charles and myself and Google and YouTube and Fiverr, all of these resources to help you bring your message forward. And Charles, I want to thank you for joining us today and your beautiful advice. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments, all that you're doing and leaning in to help make the world a better place. I appreciate and honor and celebrate that. And I'd love for you to share your contact information for anyone that wants to follow you, wants to go deeper, is interested in some of your books or the different things that you do and wants to go deeper with you. Please, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, my name is Charles Lovjoy, and the Lovejoy has no E on it. It's just Lovjoy. So it's Charles Lovejoy pretty much on all the platforms. I'm pretty sure, I know I keep talking about Google, but if you put Charles Lovejoy in Google without the E, because they're going to ask you, did you mean Lovejoy with the E? No, it's Lovjoy. And it's across all platforms, Amazon, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is under my name, Charles Lovejoy. No E. Lovjoy.
Perfect. I appreciate how clear you are about that and not letting those platforms take people another direction. So perfect. I love that. Lovejoy, no E. And do you have a place where they can Google, they can follow you on platforms? Do you have a site or a landing page or anything if they wanted to get some of your books or they're interested in some of your albums or just those types of things? Is it best to do the Google search or go on Amazon and do a search? What's the best way to engage in that and get some of your albums or get some of your books?
Well, pretty much, like I said, everything is under my name. So whatever platform you like using, you pretty much can type in my name, whether it's a book or music, all the music platforms. And I have a website. It's currently under construction at the moment, but it should be up and running within a few days. And that would be charleslovejoy.com. Again, it's Lovjoy. No E on Lovejoy.
Perfect. I'm going to hear that. I love your programming us very effectively. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Love, no E, joy. Perfect.
Yeah.
I
do all these things all the time where they misspell my name. And people are like looking for something and they're like, I can't find it. I'm like, oh, well, you're looking at the wrong Charles. Exactly. No, thank you. That's great. And everyone will know the correct Charles to find for following up and going deeper in your beautiful materials that you're bringing to the world, all of the books that you've brought forward and all of the ways that you're touching lives. So I'm excited about that, looking for people to connect in, lean in. Listeners, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you've gotten some great tips and insights. Some myths have been busted, but you've also gotten some
real direction on ways that you can bring your book forward, particularly around that cover and the importance of that, the importance of sharing your story, and the importance of having that cover catch people's eye and be able to have a powerful container for how you're looking to bring your messages forward. Now, everyone, I hope that you have an amazing week and that you continue to write, continue to bring your stories, your messages forward, because they are needed in the world. So story by story, page by page, heart by heart, we can make a positive difference in the world. So lean in, keep writing, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to The Author's Journey. Please join Rebecca Hall Gruyter for another edition of the Author's Journey podcast every Monday on the Voice America Variety Channel. And until we talk again, use some of the tips and inspiration from today's show to guide you as you lean in to bringing your message forward.